All right. Okay.
All right. Gotta start.
Yep. Go ahead.
All right. Welcome to episode 130. This episode 2 we see. Damn it. Take 2. Welcome to episode 130. This episode 2 we talk about someone woke up the chief. The truth is out there. Duh. And Anton disagrees with our producer, Amand Flores.
And I'm Anton Duan. Who's the producer?
Anton, how?
We had a producer?
Elias.
Oh, okay.
Elias. How's your week been?
Weeks. Because last time we recorded was like 2 weeks ago, right?
2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Details.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, I sold my Mercedes. My C300.
I saw that. You probably had that, what, 2 years? A year and a half?
I had that for like 2.5 years. I really enjoy that car. That's probably one of my favorite cars I've ever owned and driven. I needed something because I have a kid now, so I need an SUV. So I had one in mind, and I wanted to see how much it would cost to trade in the C300.
Okay.
And when I went to Tesla and said, "Hey, can I trade my car in? How much can I get out of it?" And they said 20,000.
What were you expecting?
I was expecting, that's what I was expecting, like 20. I was like, okay, cool. I'll probably, put in my money for a Model Y, and then, like, just to reserve my spots so then they can start producing the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, so while that was happening, I went to CarMax, and CarMax offered me $23,000.
Yeah. CarMax seems to be the go-to place for quotes. Even if you're leasing, I recommend going to CarMax to check the quote, how much I'm willing to pay you to buy out your lease. Because sometimes you might make some money out of it, or at least get more for it than just giving the car back.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. That's what I wanted to do, and I wanted to see what they were gonna give me. So 23,000 was pretty decent. I mean, it's 2,000 more than what I didn't have before.
Right.
So I went ahead and said, "Yeah, sure, I'll totally pull the trigger. The only thing is I'm waiting for my lien."
Well, verbiage, Anton, verbiage. You can't say pull the trigger nowadays.
Yeah, so I didn't have my lien yet, so I didn't have my title. I was still waiting for it in the mail. So
guessing a week, 2 weeks.
Yeah, it took like 2 weeks, but then while I was surfing the web, I saw Carvana, and I was like, I know Carvana like sells cars and they buy cars too, so it doesn't hurt to ask for a quote. So I went ahead and go on to Carvana's website, and dude, it is so simple. Like for CarMax, you actually have to go there to get a quote for your car. For Carvana,
because they want to inspect the car too, not just take it at your not just your condition estimate, but also see the car for itself.
Yeah, but Carvana is a totally different story. They don't even check out your car. You just fill out your information. You tell them the quality of the car and what you think of it. And after that, they just make sure that you are a real person by sending them an ID.
And that you actually own the car.
Yeah, and that you actually own the car. And after that, they give you a quote right away. You know what they quoted me?
24.
26.
Jesus.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay. CarMax is totally out of the picture now. And I was like, man, that's freaking awesome. So why not? So I went ahead and, clicked the submit button, and I scheduled a time with them to come and check out the car. And it's really cool. Like the whole process is really very simple. You know, Carvana, you live next to one.
Right. They have the car vending machine.
Yeah, which is a really cool concept.
Yeah.
It kind of,
Very Japanese.
very Japanese, yeah. So I think Carvana is very, very interesting because they basically bring the tow truck to you, and then after they check out the car, within 15 minutes, they wire you the transfer for the money, and they just take the car. They're like so fast, dude. Like they came to my house, gave me 6 things to sign, and as soon as I signed that last one, boom, I get a text saying that the money's being transferred.
You're like, this is too easy.
Yeah, I'm like, do you guys need to verify like the trims and stuff in the car, like the packages?
I'm sure they can pull up with it. I'm pretty sure they can pull that up with the VIN.
Yeah, they can, but there's a lot of certain things that is not shown in the VIN. I tried looking it up before. I don't know if it's like a specific thing on the Carfax or something. I don't know. But anyways, okay, I'm going to get to the Tesla stuff, okay?
Okay.
So Tesla, I've been watching videos before I got my delivery for the Model Y. Okay. I chose the Model Y because it's newest and also it's an SUV. Great car. So I went online. I looked at a lot of other people's deliveries. 10 out of 10
and
people.
And we said they're deliveries. I mean, these are just people videotaping as Tesla comes down the street with their new car, or what do you mean?
A delivery, as in like if you put in money, you get like you get entered into a queue, and the car gets produced, and then when the car is ready, they bring the car to the dealership or they bring the car to your house and deliver it to you. So on delivery day, a lot of these people on YouTube, they recorded the whole process. So the thing about Tesla is, doesn't matter what car you buy from them, there's always something wrong with the car. And the reason why is because it's so new, the quality control is not up to par. And I'll tell you why. This is stuff I know internally because I know somebody that works there. I don't think they'll ever find out who. But
Elon knows all.
So this is what's going on in the factory, okay? Whenever there's a new vehicle, they have to set up these robots to build the cars, correct?
Right.
But to make these robots perfect, it's going to take time.
Yeah. Kind of like they have to calibrate it.
Yeah. So because it takes so much time, they have no time to lose. They need to get these cars out. So what do?
They're adjusting on the fly.
They adjust it on the fly, and they have to manually put the cars together by hand.
What are the robots doing?
Yeah, so that's the thing, though. Like, they have to calibrate the robots to do what they're supposed to do, like put on doors, put on windows, stuff like that, right? But the calibration keeps going off, and especially when it's a new company and a new car, they need to learn. Yeah, but anyways, they have a bunch of staff.
I just imagine a picture of a guy holding a door and installing a door as like one of those robotic arms is like watching. It's like this.
Yeah.
The robot's like,
Yeah, so that's kind of a big problem with Tesla is the quality control. So anyways, 10 out of 10 people that I've seen on YouTube, there's something wrong with it. The paint is off. The person who's probably painting it, or the machine that was painting the car isn't painting it correctly. So there's a lot of missing spots.
Oh, okay, that's what I'm saying. When you say it's off, I was trying to ask you to clarify what that meant. But so you meant the layout of the paint, not the paint color itself.
Yeah, the paint color is fine. It's just there's sometimes it misses a spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just gives a character. Every card is unique.
That's true. Here's something else unique. The trunk doesn't close.
Oh, okay, first off, like how did that roll out of the factory without them noticing that one?
Exactly. And, and like I told you, they manually put these cars together, right? Some people
Mhm.
get these cars with like fingerprints inside on like leather and on like the roof and stuff. So when you
Well,
go in
wait,
and sit
like,
down, let's say you're a passenger and you're checking out the
uh-huh.
car. You go into the passenger seat and you're like, "Oh, this is a brand new car." And then you look up, you're like, "Why is there fingerprints on the on the roof?"
Like dirt or like in like the texture of a fingerprint.
Like imagine like people in the factory working
Yeah.
and they're not their hands are all greasy and they just
Yeah,
like
so the smear.
touch. Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. So
I, I, I mean, honestly, like, because you know how like the upholstery, like say like the roof upholstery, whatever.
mhm.
I don't know what would bug me more, a stain or seeing somebody's fingerprints as like they're holding the adhesive to that to
Yeah.
that fabric to stick.
Man,
Like, what would be annoying?
yeah, can you imagine cleaning that stuff though? Like it's
So
ridiculous.
what? So what did you have to do if you like, if that happened?
You just have to tell them and have them fix it.
So pretty much inspect the car before you accept delivery of the
Hmm.
Tesla.
Yeah.
Damn.
So yeah, it doesn't just end there. The doors are lopsided. They don't match up. Like like let's say the window, right? If you pull down the windows all the way, you'll see
Uh-huh.
like this door in the front on the passenger side
Oh, it's
is
not
higher
uniform.
than the one in the back.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. And then when you stand in front of the car, you know how like you see the hood of the car, right?
Yeah, the beat or the bonnet.
Yeah, the bonnet. And then you see those gaps on the side, right?
Yeah.
Now imagine this. The gap is bigger on one side, and then the gap on the right side is like,
Oh, it looks like some secondhand parts
yeah.
fix or something. Oh, that sucks. And it's
So,
it's funny because it's small little things that you usually wouldn't even think about
mhm,
from like a Toyota or a Honda or something like that.
yeah, it's
Oh,
crazy.
that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so watching these videos kind of made me worry so much because my
Uh-huh.
car was scheduled for my delivery. So I ordered the car in early July. 2 weeks later, they sent me a text saying that it's ready for pickup. I'm like, oh wow, this is pretty fast. They said 4 weeks, and it's only been two
Right.
weeks. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, okay, that's great. So they told me to go online and basically start, doing the paperwork process. And it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
cool. Like they do everything online. You don't have to come in. The first thing
Right.
that they have you do is if you're asking for a loan, they'll check your
Mm-hmm.
credit. So that's the first
Yeah.
thing that you need to do. You need to provide them with your information, which is your ID, your insurance. They
Mm-hmm.
just want to make sure that when they're selling the car to you, that you have everything that they need,
Yeah.
so they don't have to
It's ready.
do any
So
waiting.
you're
They can
ready.
just give you the car.
I'm saying so you're ready to drive it off the lot.
Yeah. So awesome, great. I get a call from Chris in Orlando at Tesla, and great guy. He's a very nice guy.
Does he know Jake from State Farm?
No,
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I never asked.
Chris
Um,
from Tesla.
all right. So yeah, I get a call from him. He's like, "Oh yeah, so your car is going to be delivered tomorrow. Uh, it's actually early, so instead of picking up your car next week, it's going to be here tomorrow." I'm like, "Okay, awesome, great. What time I need to be there?" He's like, "Oh, okay, 10 a.m. Awesome." The morning of, I get a text from the manager. Her name's Susie.
Oh no.
She says, "Don't come in. Your car never made it." I'm like, "But Chris told me that it's already there."
You're like, Chris lied to me?
Yeah, I'm like, okay. Where's the car? And she's like, "It's in Alabama."
What's he
The
doing in
truck,
Alabama?
I don't know. the truck is down, and they need to send another truck to come pick up 8 cars that are in that vehicle.
Oh, that sucks.
So I'm like, okay, cool. So I guess a day or two, because Alabama, Birmingham, it's 8 hours away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like here to Vegas.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, cool. Maybe Saturday, Sunday, or something. A couple of days later, she's like, you know what? We're gonna give you a call back in the afternoon. Okay. All right. Afternoon. I waited until 5:00. Haven't heard anything yet. So I called Chris. I was like, hey, so what's up? What's going on with the car? He's like, yeah, it's going to be another week. I'm like, but it's 8 hours away.
I'm scared to ask, but was the truck delivering the vehicle an accident?
No, I think
Okay.
the thing with these new Teslas is they deliver with their semis.
Uh-huh.
The Tesla semis.
Yeah.
Yeah, fully electric. So
Yeah.
maybe something was wrong with it, but I think they're testing it out still, and they're doing whatever they can to minimize using other truck companies. All right. So, anyways,
they want to show that they can walk the walk, not just talk the talk.
Mm-hmm, exactly. All right. So I'm gonna speed this up. So after a couple days later, they told me, okay, all right, it's gonna be ready this day. So right before that day, they said, nope, looks like it's coming in a couple more days because once it gets here, we need to inspect it. Okay, that's fine. So anyways, on the day of finally, they're calling. They're like, okay, the car is finally here. You can come by. You can pick it up. Cool. So I go there, and knowing what I know by seeing all these videos, and some people are saying that, they're getting better with the quality control. They're learning. Elon is, getting a lot of feedback, and he's trying to do what he can to make sure that these deliveries don't have any problems like this. Yeah. So I checked out the car. There was a car that was before me that I saw in one of the forums online. He had over like 20 different things that he needed to fix. Oh. So I'm like, okay. So I'm looking through whatever he has, and I'm trying to make sure that I don't have the same things. So it turns out that I only have 8 things.
From his list.
No, 8 things. It's mixture. It's a mixture.
Okay.
So the hood thing, like I told you, the gap. That's one of the things. They just probably need to move it over a little bit. One of the seals on the side is not even pushed in. Like it's like sometimes when you, yeah,
over time it kind of peels off, but that's over time.
Yeah, and the thing is that when they installed it, they didn't press it in, so it doesn't clip. Yeah, they messed up on that one too. When I sat in the car in the very back seat, the back of the driver's seat, it looks like someone took a knife and just like carved the
back
whole
of the
entire
seat.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know why.
I wonder if the seat came pre-made and then whoever was like unwrapping it took a blade to it.
That's probably what happened, dude.
Yeah.
But the weird thing is that it's not just the driver's seat; it's the passenger seat next to it too.
Okay, so somebody was playing this game where they open up both back doors and then they run through like Wolverine.
Yeah, yeah, it's so weird.
Through fastest wins.
Yeah, and then there were some other things that were very minor, but the charging cable that came with the car, that didn't work when I came home. When I plugged it in, it wouldn't plug in all the way, so it keeps saying that in order to charge, I have to plug it in. So I have to bring it to them. It took an hour. They gave me another cable. So I brought that cable home. Works great. But one thing that was faulty about this new cable is that the button that is on that plug, it's supposed to open the charging area. the charging port.
Little pop open.
Yeah, but then that button doesn't work, so I have to go back again.
Ugh.
Yeah, so everything that is wrong with the car, I need to schedule and go ahead and have them work on it.
Are they still doing the at-home repairs, or do you have to take it into the Tesla dealership to get it fixed?
You can do home repairs, but the only problem about that is
they're backed up.
Yeah, they're backed up 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have to bring it in if I want to get it done earlier.
It just makes me wonder how much additional money they're paying to fix these things that they could have caught earlier, like adding in a new quality control step at the factory before they even shipped it. Spent money on the shipping, spent money at the dealership with the people trying to coordinate with you and schedule it with you and do their own inspections, and then also add home repairs.
I don't know, dude. I don't understand it. I think they think that it's easier that way because if they were to not have these type of feedbacks, they wouldn't be able to make better cars. Because I think the Model 3 is already perfect now, like almost near perfect. Because when my parents got it, there was big gaps.
Yeah. No, but I think that part of it too is that not just the backed up, but part of the thing that car makers love to boast, and other consumer reports or whatever other companies review dealerships or car makers, is how many they sold, how many units they got off the line, and how many people are now owners of those cars.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for Tesla, because they're smaller and they're starting up, they need to crank up those numbers and complete those deliveries to.
Yeah, did you see how crazy Tesla stock went up?
Yeah, and that's because they are now the number one American automaker, right?
Yep, it's crazy, like bigger than GM.
I know. I tried to buy Tesla stock, but it was too expensive for me. I was like, ugh. And then that was before it jumped up.
Yeah. I think it was like only 200 something a couple months ago, like at least 4 months ago.
Yeah.
And it went straight up to like 1,500 now. So.
Yeah. I know. I saw that. I really was tempted, but I was like, no, I can't.
Yeah. So anyways, other than, those problems, I love this car, dude. Like, it is a great car. It's just minor things on the outside. It's just aesthetics. The whole driving experience is like, it totally makes it up for everything. So I love the spacious on the inside, and I love that roof. When you look up, it's like you can see everything on top.
I'm also not surprised that you went blue.
Yeah. My mom was like, "Why'd you get blue?" I'm like,
well, first off, for them, they only buy white or black cars, so they're not very adventurous with colors.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as obvious as it is that you went blue, it's probably obvious for me to go red.
Yeah. Hey, their red is pretty nice too. So
I know, I've seen it. Yeah. I know, I love their shades of red.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Anton. So we've talked about COVID as part of our week updates the last couple episodes. So I thought I would throw this in. So 3 of the pharma companies that are working on a vaccine have now reached phase 3 of the vaccine testing. So just to give you a glimpse of what that is, phase 1 is they test less than 100 people to make sure that it's safe at multiple doses. Phase 2 is a slightly bigger group, but this time they're focusing on looking at, in addition to safety, they're also looking to see how effective the vaccine is. And for those 3 pharma companies, Oxford /AstraZeneca, Moderna, and Pfizer /BioNTech. Those 3 passed the phase 2 successfully, and now they're moving on to phase 3, which is they're going to test about 30,000 people to test for effectiveness and long-term safety in multiple populations. So I think this one's where they're targeting not just, get overall population of side effects, but also certain demographics. So they want to include different age groups, ethnicities, sexes, and stuff like that too, to make sure that no group is going to have adverse effects more than others. So that's good though.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, I think in March they were hoping early 2021 for a vaccine, and that was like them being hopeful. And now Fauci's saying that these results show that he's cautiously optimistic for us to have a vaccine by December.
Did you hear about that new doctor in the White House?
What new doctor? Are they trying to push out Fauci?
Well, Trump is endorsing everything that doctor is saying, and this doctor is like saying that there's demons and stuff, and it's just weird doctor. I don't even know why.
It's so weird showing that beginning of this, Trump stood behind Fauci for everything. Like literally, they stood side by side, and they were like in a complete agreement. But like all politicians, once the feedback or the advice that the health official is providing counteracts what the image of the politician is, things go sideways, and the politician's like, I need to maintain my image. So I'm going to find this other advisor that agrees with me and makes me look better. And yeah, some of the stuff with Fauci has been pretty messed up. Besides them trying to discredit Fauci, now there's like, there's a video of Fauci speaking to, in a congressional hearing, to give what he sees of the pandemic right now in the United States, what we need to do, and provide feedback with the representatives in the that are asking him questions to that want feedback.
Can you imagine if we just shut down everything completely for like 2-3 weeks, like completely?
We would have been done.
Yeah.
If we've shut down for 2-3 weeks and closed our borders, until like the world stabilized, we would have been done with this.
Yeah, we can just have the food bank give out food for whoever needs food for 3 weeks.
Well, okay, I'll get back to that one because I was stirred for that one. So in the video clip that I saw, there was a representative. I forgot what state he's from. He was just grilling Fauci, trying to get him to say that the protests were at fault for the spikes in the pandemic in the United States, and for him to say that we should stop the protests at all costs. And it was annoying because Fauci was answering the protest like, look, I'm just telling you right now that all group gatherings are a bad idea right now. And then it was no, but I want to hear you say it. Are you telling me that we need to stop the protest? And he goes, I'm not telling you need to stop him. That's your decision. That's up to you guys. You guys are the lawmakers and representatives. I'm just telling you, regardless of the reason, group gatherings are a bad idea right now. And he's like, no,
it's the truth.
I want to hear. I know, but the thing is, the representative wanted him to say the words, "The protests are bad," or "We need to stop the protests" and stuff like that.
It's gonna make him look bad.
Then it's gonna make him look bad. And now when shit hits the fan in that representative's district or state, they can just point to, oh, well, we sent the police to stop the protest because that's what our health advisor said. They're going to use him as a scapegoat. So it's rough, but he's been handling it pretty well though. Shows you his years of dealing with politicians.
Yeah.
And then one other thing. So remember last week we talked about Henry Cavill building his own PC?
Yeah.
They did I forgot what it was. I think it was IGN did a breakdown of the cost of this computer based on the pictures that they showed. $5,011 is estimated. Maybe $3,000 if you already had a decent monitor and keyboard and mouse.
Yeah, sounds about right.
I was like, Jesus, and they did a good job. They had a good breakdown of what they saw, like the different motherboards, graphics card, sound card,
Hmm.
everything else he built into it, and damn,
Yeah, he
it's not,
really wanted not to upgrade for a while.
yeah, it's not like The Witcher doesn't have the money.
Yeah.
All right, Anton. Is that for week updates? Ready to start into
Yep, that's
news?
it. Let's get into news.
All right, starting with news. UFOs, Anton.
Oh my god.
UFOs are real. Well, I'll put it this way. There's a strong possibility that we have recovered alien craft. An astrophysicist and former consultant to the Pentagon's UFO program, Eric W. Davis, recently disclosed to United States government officials that, quote, off-world vehicles not made on this Earth had been retrieved. And then he also told the Defense Department, we could not have made these ourselves. So this is kind of a preliminary report, and then the official report comes out in a couple months. But it's really hard not to interpret this as saying we've recovered alien technology in the past.
ID4?
I don't know, but I think my other question with this one is why now?
Mm-hmm.
And then I just come back to China. Like, I don't know. I think everything's been escalating with China so much, and then I didn't put it into our show notes, but them doing shady stuff like sending Americans random packets of seeds of
Oh yeah,
invasive species.
what is up with that?
But I just love, well, not love, but I not surprised by the stupidity in some of the comments in the news report where they're saying, say ABC posts up, China sends random American seeds, warning, do not plant these. Agricultural departments are still trying to determine what type of plants these are for. And the comments are, don't tell me what to do. I'll plant whatever I want.
That's America.
That's America.
I don't know what to tell you, man.
Speaking of the pandemic earlier, though, there was a headline that I think was it Scientific American? I forgot who it was, but their headline was, "Are Americans too selfish to beat the pandemic?" And my head was like, yes, swipe. I don't need to read the article.
Oh man,
Right,
our country is supposed to be like a role model for a lot of other countries. Now they're just looking at us like shaking their heads.
well, part of it is we don't want. I think the generations have changed. So there was a generation in World War II where Americans were willing to sacrifice everything to stop evil in the world.
Yeah, peace.
And that was like true sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
Now people get outraged when they try to take away their TikTok. And but no, but it's one thing like where people are like, oh, well, Japan and Germany and all these other European countries and Asian countries are starting to reopen, and especially with school coming up now, like they're planning a normal school year for their kids. Why can't we?
Mm-hmm.
And it's because those countries that people are referencing freaking shut down harder than we did. And in the case of Japan, they never shut down their economy, but they did fully embrace the whole mask thing.
Yeah.
And they never had a giant surge in cases like we did. And I think that's the difference, is people want to be treated the same, but they don't want to put the same sacrifice that other countries have done.
Yeah, so I thought Florida was bad. We're not bad anymore. We're not number one anymore. California's number one.
California number one. I think Texas is still bad though, right?
Yeah, Texas is still pretty bad. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not getting any better down here either. There's so many videos of like people attacking Walmart, Dollar Tree, whatever employees when being told to wear a mask. I'm like, Jesus.
All right,
Anton. On to lighter
on lighter news.
Your boy Keanu Reeves. He wrote his own comic with writer Matt Kind. Mm-hmm. The title is Berserker, BRZRKR. The story is it follows a man that has a okay, this part I don't understand. If he means a war god, like a person that's sells weapons and stuff like that in war,
Mm-hmm.
or an actual god of war. But yeah, so follows a man that has a war god as a father, born 80,000 years ago, now doing dangerous jobs for the U.S. government in exchange for truth about his existence. It's going to be a
Mm.
12-issue limited series coming out October 7th of this year.
Sounds pretty cool.
I'd be down if it's
Mm-hmm.
if it's adding the whole, you know, Roman or Greek god aspect of like having a war god. I'd be into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Descendants. Mm-hmm.
Oh, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next over here, Johnnie Walker, the Scotch whiskey maker, is going to be starting in 2021. Will ditch plastic bottles and moving to a sustainable paper-based bottle. And I think this one I added just because you're such a fan of those water brands that do the paper boxes.
Oh yeah. Okay. That's it.
uh, no, yeah, but no, but I just thought that was interesting because I'm like, I understand water. Water's fine, but with alcohol, it wants to break things apart. It wants to seep. It's more likely to seep into like waxy substance. So I wonder how much of a shelf life these paper-based bottles will
Well, they
have.
already have those wine and Tetra packs.
Yeah, but that's a lower alcohol percentage though. That's like 9-12%. This is gonna be what 40% at least.
Oh yeah, it's pure alcohol. Yeah.
Mhm.
Hmm. Interesting.
I think whiskey is 80 proof, so probably be 40%. All right, Anton. So remember a while ago we talked about how AMC was being a little bitch when Universal released their
Yeah,
Trolls
trolls.
movie,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and AMC's like, "Wah, you're not allowed to be in our movie theater anymore."
Yeah.
Well, it turns out they've been working on an agreement, and Universal will be allowed to release their movies to on demand 17 days after theatrical release. And there's also like a profit sharing aspect of that. But traditionally, the difference between theatrical release and video on demand or other types of video services, 90 days.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of a Regals and a couple other companies like, what about us?
That's what. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so I kept hearing the story, and people were referencing other movie theater franchises,
Mm-hmm.
or not franchises. What you call it? Studios.
Mm-hmm.
Other studios would want to get into that deal, get that kind of. But they never mentioned other types of movie theaters,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, I'm sure other movie theaters are going to want to make the same deal. But so I was looking at this on a website called The Motley Fool that was trying to explain what the deal was and why it was a good deal for AMC specifically over Universal.
Mm-hmm.
And they did a graph of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker and ticket sales. And I was looking at this graph and I was like, I've seen this before. Our group has already known this for a long time. And we know that after the first 10 days, the profit drops by more than half.
Mm-hmm.
And then ever since then, it keeps dropping more and more subsequently. So I was looking, I'm like, we already knew this.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what the 17 days was. The 17 days is right at the peak of when they slow down on profit and they start to flatten out. And I'll send you a link so you can see the graph yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But
It makes so
it just
much
shows
more
you.
sense because, like, there are a big audience of people who don't go to movie theaters. They only watch movies at home.
Yeah. Well, there we go. Yeah. So it was. Make sure I got this right. Yeah. So I'm like, that makes sense to me because there's some movies. I mean, if I didn't have my AMC Premiere Pass or whatever it's called now, just movie pass. Uh, what was it called? I
A
forgot what it's
list.
called. A-list. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't have my A-list membership, yeah, I think it'd be like one, or if I didn't go the first week, maybe the second week. I'm probably not gonna go watch the movie in theaters because I've either A, been spoiled by it, or B, I'm not that as excited about it because the reviews are probably come out, and I'm like, I can wait, or we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
So that sounds about right.
Yeah. I just hope that, in the future, these deals won't be so exclusive, because it's going to be a big mess. I can already see it.
Well, and I think you mentioned it last year. I think it was last year, where certain studios wanted to buy movie franchises or movie theater franchises, so they can have exclusive deals. So we'll see. I mean, if this works out for Universal and AMC, maybe AMC is going to try to work out an exclusive deal, and Universal wouldn't be able to show their movies in other movie franchises.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Let's move on to Star Wars. What's new?
Yeah. So, a little bit of a headline here. Star Wars Taika Waititi has been working on a Star Wars script during this pandemic. We don't know who's going to be starring or when it's going to come out, but he's been doing a little teasing. So we'll see how that comes out. But speaking of Star Wars movies, Disney did release their schedule for the next 3 Star Wars movies, none of which we know the title of, or who they're going to be focusing on, or what timeline or what part in the timeline they're going to be in. But the dates we're looking at are December 22nd, 2023, December 19th, 2025, and December 17th, 2027.
And I think those are Rian Johnson's movies.
How does that work? How does that sit with you?
I like Rian Johnson.
Wasn't Rian Johnson the one that did The Last Jedi?
Yeah. I have no problems with him.
Okay.
I like him.
All right. And I think something that's...
Have you seen Knives Out?
No, not yet.
Yeah, you're gonna love Knives Out. It's such a good movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's something I forgot to include in this, but this is going to be offsetting. So if you notice, it's every 2 years we're going to get a Star Wars movie. In between those years, we're going to get an Avatar movie.
Okay.
So they'll be offsetting each other, and we'll see. We'll see how those Avatar movies come out. I mean,
have you seen the recent pictures of what they've been filming?
I haven't seen any.
They have a giant pool, and Zoe Saldana and Sam Worthington is just in the pool, just swimming in these motion capture suits, and they have these contraptions where they're riding those animals, and it looks like they're having a lot of fun.
I mean, why not?
Yeah.
I'm sure it also helps them that they've seen what the world of Avatar looks like. They know what they're dealing with. Before, they're kind of like, all right, imagine this, or this is some concept art we have. But now that the movies are out and they can actually see what they brought to life, so I'm sure it kind of helps them with their acting.
Yeah. All right. So what's up with New Mutants? Is it delayed again?
So this one, no update on the release yet, but Disney has doubled down saying that they're going to stick to the release schedule or the theatrical release now, and they're not going to do a Disney Plus release for it.
Okay.
I mean, which at that point, really? Is everybody burnt out by New Mutants? And then more movie news here. Sonic 2, Paramount has announced that Sonic 2 is set to be released in theaters April 8th, 2022. Have you seen the first one yet?
Yeah, I like it. It's cool.
Did you?
Yeah, but I still like Detective Pikachu better.
Okay. All right. And then a little tease. Brie Larson has been very vocal that she wants to play Samus if Nintendo ever proceeds with a Samus movie. I'm kind of wondering if people are going to be down for that, since there's kind of a mixed feelings with her Captain Marvel.
No comment. All right, let's move on.
Okay. All right, Anton. Tenet. Americans are kind of a little bit salty about this one, but apparently the movie is going to be released overseas first on August 26th.
Cool.
And then United States
get pirated versions.
Well, we're gonna get it a week later on Labor Day weekend. So yes, but I mean, America comes first, dude. America, fuck yeah. But I mean, better than not getting this movie at all. So it's gonna be select theaters, very limited release. Depends on which theaters are open and what states, and we'll see how it goes from there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Anton, that is it for news. Ready to get to streaming?
Yes. Streaming
All right,
time.
streaming news. Cobra Kai. We know season 3 is gonna be premiering on Netflix. No date yet. I'm sure their filming schedule and post production has been delayed because of COVID. But we will get the first 2 seasons that were previously only available on YouTube Premium. They'll be available August 28th, which is good for me because I didn't see season 2 yet.
Season 2 really kicks ass.
I just remember the clips that they showed at Comic-Con, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I know you love this video game. Splinter Cell. We're gonna be getting, and Netflix has announced that we'll be getting an anime series with John Wick writer Derek Holstead. Will be producing and writing this. Netflix reportedly gave this a 2-season deal with 16 episodes.
Yeah, see, this was supposed to happen a long time ago with a live action version, but that never fell through.
No, and I mean, Splinter Cell. When's the last time we had a Splinter Cell release? 10 years ago?
A video game?
Yeah, like the latest release.
Oh man, I don't even know. Let me see.
I would say I'm gonna say easily 10 to 12 years. That's my guess. 2008.
Latest release was 8 years ago.
Damn. See,
7 years ago. Sorry, August 20th, 2013.
Yeah, so this might be a little bit, 7 years too late, but we'll see how it comes out. So 2 seasons. I mean, if Netflix is putting that order in, they must have a lot of confidence in the series. All right. Some Lando Calrissian news. Donald Glover is returning to the role for his own Lando Calrissian series.
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay.
And this is kind of fun because there was kind of a hatred for the Solo movie from the business standpoint. They saw it as a failure. But really, Solo was one of those that got affected by the what was it? What would you call those people that were just crashing the reviews before the movie released? A-holes? Just a-holes.
Yeah.
Those Rotten Tomato a-holes. I like the movie, and this is like, and when me and my girlfriend watched all the Star Wars movies, this is one of her favorites. She loved, Aiden Aldrich. Aldrich, can't remember his name.
Damn it.
I don't.
Yeah, he has that tongue twister name.
No, but it's funny because people hated on him because he didn't look like Solo. But if you watch the original Harrison Ford, the original trilogy, and then watch this one, he got the Solo feel right.
He does.
Yeah. So for me, the fact that they're doubling down on Donald Glover in that universe shows that Solo is staying in the canon. And there are rumors that we might get a Solo 2. So does this give more credence to a Solo 2?
I have a feeling there's going to be a Solo 2 because they can't just stop it there. That story, well, they probably can, and then just have a book or something, or a comic book. Not
the same.
That part, that ending.
At the end. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Darth Maul.
Yeah.
I love his story, especially in Clone Wars. You could see his whole entire arc, and it ends with what are the new series? Rebels. Yeah, it ends in Rebels, and there's that really big gap in between where I'm like, I really wonder, because what happened was, he got outcasted. Like, he was trained by the biggest Sith lords, and they leave him for dead.
Yeah.
Even though like he showed himself that he's ready to come back,
Mm-hmm.
they left him there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really like to see that story, because it seems like he's part of the syndicate. He's running his own gang, and he's
his own faction.
his own faction.
Yeah, and I love that world that they created in Solo. So I mean, I really want to see more about that time in the universe,
Yeah,
in
and
the Star Wars universe.
I'll tell you what. In the very last couple episodes of Clone Wars, the one that came out recently, they show that they kind of teased that Darth Maul started this whole syndicate thing, and there's so many different characters in there, and there's also that character that Durden Voss, which is Paul Bettany character in Solo. He was in that scene too, which is kind of like, oh, okay, this is very interesting. They're really teasing this. Like, it can't just be like an Easter egg. There's going to be a whole different story just focusing on that.
I'm really wondering if either Disney is trying to build fan appreciation for the Solo time frame, or if they're just testing the waters with a Lando series, and maybe they'll bring in Aiden back.
Alden
or
Enric.
There you go, Alden. So I can see the Lando Calrissian series kind of being a bridge to Solo 2.
Yeah, get people back into
hyped up.
Yeah,
I
think that's the best way to do it.
Pretty much, yeah. Build up the hype again for that, the smugglers, that kind of world. As not the bounty hunters, not the Skywalkers, just people in the Star Wars universe trying to survive. All right. Moving on here, The Boys. Not only is season 2 premiering, I don't know if it actually premiered already, but they just announced. Well, they announced season 3 would be released. Would be coming even before season 2 started. I'm excited. I need to binge that still. That is such a freaking dark series. You haven't seen the first
season yet, right?
I saw the first season.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I just haven't seen the second season yet. And then Netflix has also announced that we're getting a prequel series for The Witcher called Blood Origin that will take place 1,200 years before, make sure I get this right, Geralt of Rivia? I'm going to type that in wrong. Rivera's adventures. So, not sure what that means, but more Witcher coming at you.
Oh yeah. So did you finish the book, or did you?
Oh no. I'm barely going to start the book. I finished The Handmaid's Tale on Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm barely going to start that, and hopefully I'm starting on the right book. There is kind of a mixture of opinions on which book is first, because I guess the Americans got a trilogy released first, but really those weren't the original books. Yeah, like, and then that
I heard about that. It's confusing.
Yeah, so I just went with what was released in the Netherlands originally. I'm going with that chronological order. So I'm starting with The Last Wish first. All right, Anton. And to finish off our streaming section, I did get to catch Transformers War for Cybetron, the first part. I think it's called Siege. It came out on the 30th. And at first, I was a little disappointed because the rating for this was Y7. So I was like, freaking A.
So
this is for
like
kids.
Little kids? Yeah.
That was my thought. I'm like, it's for kids. And I started watching. I'm like, all right, the animation's solid. I like it. It's very clean CGI, but they had a lot of textures to show that the bots had been through a lot of battles. There's a lot of, like, not just big damage to their bodies, but little, little pepperings of bullets and other stuff like chipped away at their paint. And this takes place really early on in the Cybetron War. It's in the middle of the Autobot Rebellion, and it's before even Bumblebee joined the faction. Bumblebee was neutral. He didn't want to join the war. Which is different for me because I mean I've never really gotten into the comic books, so I don't know a world without Bumblebee being Optimus Prime's right-hand man. So as I'm watching this, I'm starting to notice that I think the Y7 rating is them being sneaky. So there is a lot of robots getting ripped apart.
It's not humans.
They're not humans, and this is like old late 80s, early 1990s animated action cartoons where if anybody's getting killed, somehow it's a villain's robot army that gets like destroyed and blasted apart. So yeah, so these like they'll be in an ambush, and someone get their head blown off, or another one just have like a giant like piece of the torso missing, and they're like dying in somebody's arms, and I'm like, they're not human. Okay, that's one. And I'm listening to them talk, and I'm noticing they're getting away with some language by trying to throw in some robot talk. I wrote down my 3 favorite ones that stood out to me.
Shazbot.
Close. There's a part where Optimus Prime is talking about making a deal with the Decepticons, and one of his followers says, "Optimus, that's scrap." Instead of crap, they say scrap. And then the one where they're in a fight, and they shout out, "Decepticons scrap suckers," which I wonder if that means cocksuckers. And then my favorite one, I think this is by Wheeljack. He said, "We'll polish my tailpipe," which I'm assuming that's kind of like jerk me off. I was like, okay, they got away with the language because they phrase things a certain way. But if your kid's watching this and he starts saying stuff like "that's scrap," parents are still going to catch on what that means.
It's kind of like the Kids Bop version of like those really horrible lyric songs.
Yeah. So they kind of stuck away with that. So I misinterpreted what this is going to be. I thought it was going to be 3 movies, but it's 3 miniseries. So season 1, it's a 6-parter, 25 minutes each episode. So I binged this one pretty quickly. I loved it. I'm down to try it some more. I would give this a B+. You have to get me intrigued. Okay. I'm sad that the original voice of Optimus Prime couldn't be used, but the guy they used, I guess he's been part of the other Transformer franchises. So he has the voice pretty nailed down. But yeah, I like that they're actually trying to like, give more of a connection to the bots. They're not just, for lack of better, faceless names or just generic robots. They have their own personalities, their own beliefs. And Megatron, in this one, you kind of see Megatron's transformation from being very understandable. You see what he's trying to fight for, and you're like, I get it now. And then you see why he turns into the Megatron we know.
So it's better than what Michael Bay was trying to interpret.
I honestly feel that so far this first season, I feel that this should have been the Transformers trilogy. It started from the very beginning. They're not touching Earth. This takes all place on Cybetron. My guess is that this will eventually lead to Earth, or Earth will be mentioned. But for now, this is just focused on Cybetron, the bots, their civil war, and their history and their beliefs. So I like it. I'm kind of curious to see. I think Josiah's from the Comic Syndicate. He's read the comic books, so I'm kind of curious what he thinks about the story that they're laying out here. All right, Anton, and that is my recap of Transformers. Ready to get into gaming?
Cool. Let's get into gaming.
All right, some quick news here. Xbox Live. Microsoft has stopped selling the 12-month Xbox Live Gold plans.
I
So
still get
this could
charged.
be... Well, no, they stopped selling the 12-month one. I think they're still selling the month to month.
Hmm.
Mine just renewed in March.
Hmm.
So we'll see.
So my
But
guess
yeah,
is that they're doing the Xbox Game Pass, and that's where you're gonna get all the games that they announced recently for free.
yeah, I'm wondering if they're gonna do free Xbox Live and then Game Pass for games, kind of really push more of the Game Pass aspect of it,
Hmm.
just to make the game more approachable. Because I think one of the things with Xbox is people drop out quick with
Hmm.
like some games. They don't. There's not a lot of staying power for some of these names, aside from Fortnite and all that. But I mean, going into Halo in a bit, but Halo is one of those games that it has a large following for the first 2 years online, and then if you go to the multiplayer 5 years later, you're not going to get that much matchmaking variation there.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
the players have dropped off and gone to something else. So we'll see what Xbox does with this, but that's interesting to see what they're going to do with the Xbox Series X.
So I'm gonna butt in real quick here. We were
Go
talking
ahead.
about the Xbox Series X last week. 2 weeks ago.
Yes. Yeah.
So Xbox Series X is supposed to be the superior machine, right? And then
Why are you rolling your eyes when you say that?
and Project Scarlet is supposed to be the cheaper one, correct?
That's the rumor. Yes.
Yeah,
No, not Scarlet. Lockhart. Lockhart.
Lockhart. Yeah, Lockhart is supposed to be the cheaper version.
Right. Right. Whatever it is, it's gonna be the cheaper one.
Yeah. So recently, I don't know if you heard the news. Sony, PlayStation, they just filed for a patent.
PlayStation Lockhart.
No, they just patent a multi-core. Let me see here, multi
Are they
GPU.
are they already working on the Pro version?
Yeah,
That's not too
yeah,
too
but I
unheard.
have a feeling they had this already, but they're not announcing it because I think they're trying to make Xbox think that their most
They want.
powerful machine is what they are putting out, but realistically, there's a more powerful one.
So you think that the whatever this is, the Pro version or whatever that's gonna be called, is gonna be out for this Christmas? If they're barely
Yeah,
filing the patent?
yeah, that's my guess
I don't know.
because next week is state of play for PS5,
Yeah.
and they're doing some big announcements. And I already thought like last month when they had that event, it was big announcements already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me 1 second, real quick.
Yep.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Okay,
I would
so
just
yeah, the only reason why I bring this up is because when people think that they're getting a really good deal, because what PlayStation did was they put a pretty interesting console out, and it's a very reasonable price. They haven't put out the price yet, but
Mhm.
it's a very reasonable machine at a very reasonable price. But then all of a sudden, there's this Pro version that is going to go against the Series X with the same price. is what I think it's gonna eventually be.
So they're gonna do like a shift down than what we thought it was gonna be.
Yeah. So basically, people are gonna be like, okay, if we buy the Lockhart, it's kind of like paying a premium for something that isn't really premium.
Uh, I can see this releasing it in the spring, but at this point, if they're barely filing a patent on it, I don't see them releasing it by December. But we'll see. Well, like you said, we'll have an announcement next month or this month. So
And
we'll see what big
also,
announcement they have.
also something else that they're doing is I think they are doing like a thumb drive type thing, like how they have the PlayStation View or PlayStation Now or something like that, where you get to stream the games because Xbox and PlayStation are working together for that cloud. So I think they might have something like that too. But yeah, well, I don't know. It's still early. Maybe it won't even be brought up next week, but it's interesting.
I'm skeptical if it's going to come out this December, but we'll see. All right, Don. And finally here, Halo Infinite. We've had a lot of news come out in the last 2 weeks, both from the gameplay to more details about the story. And now we're starting to learn more about what the future is going to be for Halo. So the studio has announced that Halo Infinite will not have a Halo Infinite 2. There's not going to be a Halo 7. This is going to be the game for the foreseeable future for, not Bungie. Damn it, 327? 327? 343. Damn it. I was like, damn it, there's threes. 343. So here's what we know. It's going to be an open world, so you can start an objective anywhere in the map in the Halo ring, go in whatever order you want to go in. No XP meter, so you're not going to be able to level up your Master Chief. Your upgrades come in the form of items as players explore. So similar to, I guess, Warzone
Legend of Zelda.
Really? Oh, I guess that's true.
Yeah, because you basically get different weapons as you go.
Yeah, and that's like you find better weapons as you explore. Your character doesn't change, but your performance does, and whatever your attachments are. Fresh start. So the studio wants to really make sure that new people to the Halo franchise feel as welcome as returning Halo fans, since this has been a long time since we've had a new Halo game. So as part of the story, the Master Chief doesn't know what's happened since the war has ended with the Covenant. He's been woken up, and he's with this other pilot that we see in the trailer, and that's all. He's trying to figure things out as he goes. So we'll probably get more of the history of the Halo ring and what's going on through there. And Siri, I didn't mean to activate you. Next one here, Halo. Kind of mentioned this, the last Halo game. So even though this is going to be the game for the foreseeable future, the game is meant to be updated and DLCs will be released. Not sure if that's going to include paid DLC or if it's all going to just updates to the game, to keep the game fresh for years to come.
So they're probably going the Destiny route.
Destiny, yeah, and kind of keep the new stories going. So maybe new war, and I think they're probably going to include the. Oh, that's on my side. And I think they're probably going to try to do the battle pass thing too, like all war games now.
I don't think they're doing the battle pass because, you're right. So the Halo game is the Halo multiplayer online is free.
Free to play, yeah,
free to play. So I guess when you pay, you get the skins and the.
everybody's a sucker for costumes and skins.
Yeah.
Who wants to be the Master Chief as a bunny? And then finally, we saw that in the trailer that we'll be fighting the Banished, which is a faction of the Brutes that were long exiled by the Covenant. So, yeah, I'm excited for this, dude. you know how much of a Halo fan I am. I love the games, and I even got into the novels of these. So, yay for the Master Chief.
There's some backlash with the
Oh, the grapple.
no, not the grapple. It looks very unfinished.
Yeah, and 343 has kind of defended their stance on it, saying that this is still a work in progress, that they're still months away from launch, and they're still, working on polishing it up before release. But the core game and story are done. Now it's all just cosmetic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I was watching the gameplay that they had, the 8 minutes, and there was a scene where like you see a lot of smoke, and then it just disappears, and then it shows up again, and it disappears. There was a lot of glitches, and I guess the brute doesn't look as refined too. Like I was like, okay, is this the final game or but I guess it's too early. But
it's too early. They can do a lot. And the thing too is they can start freaking printing out these copies on physical disc and still have a forced update as soon as you plug it in.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still time. I can see it fixing it. And they're sticking with the 120 FPS as promised by the Xbox Series X. So we'll see how it looks on its final form. All right, Anton. If people want to move us to our next form, how can they do that?
They can do that by going to our website at www.the2oc.com and maybe buy a sticker, t-shirt, hat, whatever. Gives us a little kickback. You know what else gives us a little kickback? Any of the links that takes anybody to the Amazon pages on what we're talking about on our social media or anything at all gives us a little kickback. For that
right there?
Yeah.
As Anton's alluding to, yes, every now and then I do post links on our Twitter account of different products that we've mentioned or other deals that I found. If you click the link, complete the order, you get a kickback from there. You can follow us at the 2OC on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and send us an email to mail@the2OC if you want to give us our feedback on, Halo, Xbox, PlayStation, whatever you want. Just let us know.
Okay. And this this week is also brought to you by I'm blanking out right now. Sorry. Audible.
Dad brain, huh?
Yeah, dad brain. Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook, download, and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/the2OC. There are over 180,000 titles to choose from, and you can use it on your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or any other MP3 player. Can you download and put it onto your MP3 player?
What, the Audibles?
Yeah.
Audible copies? Yes, because you do own them.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've done it before. You can download those copies.
Okay, cool.
So I mentioned on the episode the Last Wish for the Witcher series, so check that one out. And I'm happy to announce that according to the Audible saga, the Witcher saga listening order, The Last Wish is the first book, the first one to listen to. So yay, I'm doing it right according to Audible. All right, Anton, anything else?
Nothing. I got a couple credits to use on Audible, so I gotta start adding a couple more books.
Nice. All right, so while you do that, for the 2OC, I'm Alan Flores.